Welcome back to the ins and outs of work-life balance. This is your fourth audio called Inner Obstacles to Balance. And my name is Gretchen Hogg, and I am one of the co-creators of lightenupandthrive.com along with my business partner, Dr. Jerry Eddington. So let's get started for today. Last time we left off, leaving you cozy and warm with a vision of your ideal, balanced life. And today, we're going to bring you back down to earth with a thud. But it's all for a good purpose. If you're going to achieve that wonderful feeling of balance more often, you need to be on the lookout for the influences that will affect your work-life balance. That is the third step in this process, and we will discuss it in the next two lessons. Influences can lead you both towards and away from your ideal balanced life. Influences that lead you towards balance are called resources, things that are helpful as you make more positive choices. While resources are really important, we'll mostly be focusing on their counterpart in this course, the obstacles. Obstacles are those things that make it more difficult for you to make the positive changes that would bring more balance to your life. We'll start today by looking at inner obstacles, and then in our next lesson we'll move on to the outer obstacles. Life isn't about waiting for the storms to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. I love that quote by Vivian Green. If we apply that beautiful quote to our current topic of work-life balance, the storms become possibly the difficult people or the difficult situations that we encounter each and every day. We'll talk more next time about how to approach some of those storms directly. For today, though, the dance is about how you respond inside. Do you process these events in a way that brings more balance to your life? Or do you actually block the way to balance by creating inner obstacles? You might know that as the inner saboteur. But the good news about inner obstacles is that these are things that you can change. Namely, there are 3 inner obstacles that you do have control over. The first inner obstacles are your thoughts. The second inner obstacle is your words. And your third inner obstacle are your actions. So, how do your thoughts create an obstacle to work-life balance? When you make assumptions about what someone else is thinking, for example, or what the outcome of a situation will be, you start thinking things based on those assumptions, even though they might be totally inaccurate, not based in reality, and that really affects your state of well-being. When you focus your thoughts on a problem, an opportunity, or anything other than what you're doing in that current moment, you dilute your effectiveness and block both achievement and enjoyment. And when you perceive things through the lens of scarcity or negativity, that lens of misperception, you miss out on opportunities and things to feel good about. So how do your words create an obstacle to work-life balance? For example, when you blurt out a response to someone based on your emotional reaction patterns, you create misunderstandings, conflict, or even hostility. And it's hard to be in a state of balance when you're feeling bad. When you use negative or violent language, even unconsciously, for example, something seemingly innocent like, "I'll shoot you an email," it casts a dark shadow on your interactions and even your self-talk, and therefore your overall fulfillment, because all words have an energy to them, and something like shoot obviously has varied connotations to it. And when you talk about a problem by complaining or blaming, it is more difficult to see possibilities and solutions, and it takes the joy out of doing. And how do your actions create an obstacle to work-life balance? When you say yes to something new without taking something away, you create time pressure. That's a huge potential for imbalance in your life. When you make choices that will harm your health instead of nourish it, you create a cycle of unhealthy choices. Simple example, let's say you're tired. You might be less motivated to cook a healthy meal and might instead reach for fast food or unhealthy food choices. And when you continue with patterns of overwork out of habit, it's much harder to change that, and it continues to leave you feeling unfulfilled. Other inner obstacles may include lack of knowledge, lack of self-confidence, or a lack from physical limitations or health problems. Have you noticed any of these obstacles popping up in your own life? Can you see how they've contributed to the imbalance between work and life? Take heart, because just by opening up your awareness to these patterns and habits, you will notice them more as they pop up in your day. And with awareness comes the opportunity to make a new choice and to make a change. And when you increase this awareness, you might even be able to really understand or have a glimpse into what are your deepest self-limiting beliefs. So instead of making assumptions, you can ask for clarification. Instead of using negative language, you can choose positive words. Instead of overworking to get something done, you can choose to let some things carry over to the next day. Now, I'm not saying that these choices will be easy or that you'll be able to reverse many years of habit in an instant. For now, just noticing these obstacles is going to spark the potential for change. So stay tuned for the next audio, because we'll delve into some of the outer obstacles that are working against you when you're trying to balance your life. Until the next time, thanks for listening. Again, this is Gretchen from lightenupandthrive.com, and thank you for tuning in for the next audio.